I'm Ava Miller, 34 years old, and as I stand in my luxurious penthouse overlooking the city, surrounded by the love of my life, Ethan, and our two beautiful children, I can't help but reflect on the long and winding road that led me here. It's been a journey filled with heartbreak, betrayal, and ultimately, redemption. The turning point came when my family showed up unannounced at our company's anniversary party. I watched as their eyes widened in disbelief at the sight of our success. My mother, Helen, tried to hide her shock behind a forced smile, while my sister, Lily, stood there, a look of envy on her face. And then there was Mark, the man who had once broken my heart. His face paled as he saw Ethan, my husband, by my side, a successful entrepreneur in his own right. It was a moment of sweet vindication, but it also brought back a flood of memories that I had tried so hard to bury. I remember growing up in a small town in Texas, in a house that seemed perfect on the outside but was filled with dysfunction on the inside. My mother was a strict and controlling woman, always comparing me to Lily, who was the golden child. Lily was beautiful, popular, and had a talent for music. I, on the other hand, was the quiet one, the one who spent hours in my room, lost in books and coding. My mother never understood my passion for technology. She would often say, "Ava, you need to be more like your sister. Boys don't like girls who are too smart." Every time I achieved something, it was always overshadowed by Lily's latest accomplishment. Whether it was a school play or a music competition, Lily was always the center of attention. But I didn't let my mother's words discourage me. I worked hard, and by the time I was in high school, I had won several coding competitions. I was offered a scholarship to a prestigious university on the East Coast, and I jumped at the chance to escape my hometown and start a new life. College was a breath of fresh air. I met amazing people who shared my passion for technology, and I finally felt like I belonged. I also met Mark, a charming and intelligent guy who was working on his own startup. We hit it off immediately, and soon, we were inseparable. Mark was everything I had ever dreamed of. He was ambitious, driven, and he believed in me. He encouraged me to pursue my dreams, and he supported me every step of the way. We talked about our future together, and I couldn't wait to build a life with him. One summer, I decided to introduce Mark to my family. I was nervous, but I was also excited. I wanted them to see the amazing man I had found, and I hoped that they would finally accept me for who I was. The visit started off well. My father, Robert, seemed genuinely interested in Mark's business, and he asked him some thoughtful questions. My mother, on the other hand, was her usual critical self. She made some snide comments about Mark's appearance and his background, and I could tell that Mark was uncomfortable. But things really took a turn for the worse when Lily showed up. She had just broken up with her boyfriend, and she was looking for someone to comfort her. She immediately took a liking to Mark, and she started flirting with him right in front of me. I was shocked and hurt. I couldn't believe that my sister would do something like this to me. I tried to ignore her, but she kept pushing the boundaries. She would touch Mark's arm, laugh at his jokes, and make suggestive comments. Mark seemed confused. He didn't know how to handle the situation, and he kept looking at me for guidance. I wanted to tell him to stay away from Lily, but I didn't want to cause a scene. So I just pretended like everything was okay. Over the next few weeks, things between Mark and me started to change. He became distant and withdrawn, and he stopped answering my calls and texts. I was worried, but I didn't know what was going on. One day, I decided to surprise Mark at his office. When I walked in, I saw him sitting at his desk, talking to Lily. They were laughing and smiling, and it looked like they were having a great time. I felt my heart sink, and I knew that something was wrong. I confronted Mark, and he finally admitted that he had feelings for Lily. He said that he was sorry, but he couldn't help it. He said that Lily was more fun and more outgoing than me, and that he thought they would be a better match. I was devastated. I couldn't believe that the man I loved had betrayed me with my sister. I felt like my whole world had come crashing down around me. I went back to college, feeling lost and alone. I couldn't focus on my studies, and I started to withdraw from my friends. I was in a deep depression, and I didn't know how to get out of it. But then I met Ethan. He was a fellow student in my computer science class, and he was immediately drawn to me. He saw the pain in my eyes, and he wanted to help me. At first, I was hesitant. I didn't want to get hurt again, and I wasn't sure if I was ready to open my heart to someone new. But Ethan was patient and understanding. He listened to me when I needed to talk, and he supported me when I needed a shoulder to cry on. Slowly but surely, I started to heal. I realized that Mark and Lily were not worth my tears, and I decided to focus on my future. I worked hard in school, and I graduated with honors. After graduation, Ethan and I started our own company. We worked long hours, but we were passionate about what we were doing. Our company grew quickly, and soon, we were making a name for ourselves in the tech industry. As our company became more successful, I started to think about my family. I knew that I needed to confront them about what had happened, but I was afraid. I didn't know how they would react, and I didn't want to cause any more pain. But then, my father called me. He told me that he was sick and that he didn't have much time left. He asked me to come home and see him, and I couldn't say no. When I arrived at my parent house, I was greeted by my mother and sister. They were both surprised to see me, and they didn't know what to say. I sat down with my father, and we talked for hours. He told me how proud he was of me, and he apologized for not standing up for me when I needed him. He said that he had always loved me, and that he wished he could have done more. I was touched by my father's words, and I realized that I had been holding on to a lot of anger and resentment. I decided to forgive him, and I told him that I loved him too. Over the next few days, I also had a chance to talk to my mother and sister. I told them how their actions had hurt me, and I asked them to apologize. My mother was defensive at first, but she eventually admitted that she had been wrong. She said that she had always been jealous of my intelligence and my success, and that she had tried to hold me back. Lily also apologized. She said that she was sorry for what she had done, and that she had realized that she had made a big mistake. She said that she was happy for me and that she wanted to be a part of my life. I was relieved to hear their apologies, and I decided to give them a second chance. I knew that it would take time to rebuild our relationship, but I was willing to try. A few months later, my father passed away. It was a difficult time for our family, but we were able to come together and support each other. After my father's death, I decided to focus on my family and my company. I worked hard to make our company even more successful, and I also made sure to spend time with Ethan and our children. And now, as I look back on my life, I realize that everything happens for a reason. The pain and the betrayal that I experienced have made me a stronger and more resilient person. They have taught me the importance of forgiveness, and they have shown me that true love and happiness can be found in the most unexpected places. So, if you're going through a difficult time right now, don't give up. Keep fighting for your dreams, and never let anyone tell you that you're not good enough. Because in the end, it's your story, and you have the power to write it.